Hi guys, it's Dr. Pam and I'm here with your burning question regarding food therapy. I've had a couple of questions about what makes a meat hot versus cold. And so for those who understand, our practice uses a lot of Chinese medicine, and so we use a food therapy a lot. For those of you who don't know what that is, food therapy is simply a branch of Chinese medicine. So Chinese medicine is like an umbrella term. It's a system of medicine that stands on its own, right? So it has acupuncture, it has Chinese herbs and food therapy and Tui Na and Qigong. Now all of those work together to bring about balance in the body and also to keep you at a level of health. So it works as a system. Now food therapy in Chinese medicine is very useful for us because it builds upon the principles that it's more than just the protein, carbs, and fat in the body. That's how the synergy and how it provides nutrients and specific nutrients for specific function. In Chinese medicine, they utilize, okay, if there's different properties of the food, it acts in certain organs, it moves in this particular direction, it actually pushes pathogens out, it actually tonifies the digestion within. So there's different types of actions and properties. Today we're only going to talk about the thermal nature because that was the question. So you'll hear oftentimes in the back of your mind, or you'll hear people talk about, well, chicken's hot, or beef is cold, or something along that line. So let's talk a little bit about what that means. Now, the Chinese use this in all types of food, so it's not just limited to meats, but we're going to talk about meats because that was the question. So meat is made of skeletal muscle, right? And the skeletal muscle has a specific organelle in it called a mitochondrion. Does that tickle the back of your brain from high school? So mitochondria are your powerhouses of the cell. They generate energy. They're the powerhouse of your cell. And so it stands to reason if your muscle fiber is moving and using a lot of energy, it's going to have what? More mitochondria. If it's not moving as much energy, it's going to have fewer mitochondria, right? So when you look at the different possibilities, there are three types of muscle fibers that we've learned about in the science world. One is a slow twitch, and two of them are fast twitch. Now, to give you a really good example, it's like the tortoise and the hare story. Slow twitch fibers are like the tortoise. They move very slow, they move consistently, but they can go a long time. Fast twitch fibers dart, they move quickly and then they have to rest, and they move quickly and they have to rest. So those particular animals that have slow twitch fibers are going to move slowly. Does that give you a hint? Beef. Beef is a big slow twitch fiber thing. So beef in its nature, the normal nature where we don't interfere, is actually a cooling meat. If you raise cattle on a pasture and you don't mess with them with hormones and antibiotics, they're cooling. When you mess with them with hormones and antibiotics and feed them grain, they're going to be a little bit warming. So what you'll find is different practitioners talk a little bit differently about cooling, warming, heating. Why? Because it depends upon how they're raised. All right? So in my practice, we know how they're raised when we recommend specific foods. We utilize specific companies that have specific outcomes. So I have a little more targeted approach. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at these, all right? So the animals that dart, like the deer, are going to have a lot of high, fast twitch fibers. They got to move quickly to escape the predator, right? So they're going to have high, fast twitch fiber levels. So that means they're going to have high mitochondria levels, which means their meat is going to be hot. Deer, venison is actually very hot. So if you think about it, you use food therapy every day. Every day. You don't even realize it. Like right now in Texas, it's 100 degrees. So I'm putting mint in my water. I'm eating more cucumbers. I like watermelon. I still eat my vegetables. Celery, I eat a lot of celery in the summertime. It's amazing for what it does for the cooling and the liver dampening effects, right? So we use that without even thinking about it. How many of you use ginger, fresh ginger, when you don't feel good? How many of you know that whenever you feel badly in your tummy, that your kid's having some problems, a little ginger tea, fresh ginger, makes all the difference, right? So you're using it and you don't even know it. Do you want, in 100-degree weather, lamb stew? No. That doesn't even sound, I think I'm actually going to retch a little bit. It doesn't even work for me. So you want things in the summertime. We're into the salads, we're into the vegetable medleys, we're into things that help cool the body, okay? So that's the thermal qualities. The last caveat to that is that dry food, all right? Kibble diets, by the way that they're formed, remember we showed you a video on how they're formed, the extrusion process and everything. How they're formed creates a hot end product. The meat that is used may affect it to the degree to which it's hot, but it doesn't make it cooling. So feeding a duck kibble, even though it's a cold meat, does not make it cold. It makes it the least hot of the hot. Venison kibble is hot, 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 hot. Lamb is hot, 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 hot. And chicken is hot warming, right? So remember that it does not transcend over into kibble diets because the nature of the processing of kibble diets, and canned for that matter, create problems for how that mitochondria is going to function. In fact, remember, it's not even, everything's been denatured by the time it goes through the extrusion. So the nutrients that you had prior to the extrusion process don't exist anymore, okay? I hope this helps. Let me know. Scroll down and leave a comment. Let me know if it helps and makes sense to you. I hope you have a great day. Bye.